before I get started, before I forget, please do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps me keep track of who's actually watching the videos and what kind of content to produce. So if you have any comments, please also feel free to comment below. Anyway, let's get started. So in this video, I decided let's just go ahead and get started with basic reversing applications because it sounds cool and it's really not as hard as you think it is, and reversing is huge to understand what's going on behind the scenes. So we're going to get started with some very basic reversing, and it can get complicated, but we're going to start off simple with the Diva APK that we used in the videos previous to this. And I'm going to show you two different ways that I like, at least so far, to reverse the application. One is Apktool, which we've used before, and the other one is JADX. Now, I have yet to fully understand the differences, but I have noticed that JADX can also be used to produce Java source code from Android DEX and APK files, so it is a bit more versatile. Now, I don't like the GUI for JADX, but we will get into that later, and I'll show you what I like to use instead. Okay, so let's get our environment set up. Go back over here. There we go. That's what I meant to do from the beginning. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright. So the device is plugged in, it's connected. We're not in charging mode. Okay, perfect. So now after you have the device connected, let's take a look at the application. So open your phone, go to Diva, and we can see that there is this problem set. Number 2, hard coding issues. So it says to find out what is hard coded and where, and it kind of leaves it blank. So you're wondering, all right, well, let me figure out what I need to do. So what you need to do essentially now is you need to decompile the application and then start digging in. So let's go ahead and do that. So CD documents, Android, all apps. Alright, so diva beta.apk. So let's use the APK tool to decompile it. So it's going to be APK tool, D for decompile, diva beta.apk. Throw the F flag in there. Hopefully it works without too many errors. No errors, awesome. And now we have this diva beta folder. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go into the folder. Okay, so if you recall, I already talked about what the Android manifest file does, and the other folder that I had talked about was the Smalley folder. So if you'll recall, I mentioned that pay attention to the Smalley files because that's where the source code is. So let's go ahead and dig in there. Smalley, Jakar, Seam, Diva. Okay, and here we are seeing a whole bunch of different Smalley files. And if you'll recall, as I had mentioned before, the Smalley files are actually going to include the Java functions and basically the source code of each of these little applications or programs within the application itself. So we're looking at hard coding issues. So I'm assuming it's this one. So let's go ahead and try to cat it. Hard code activity.smalley. Okay. And real quick, before we get into this, let's say that we type in QWERTY. Okay. And it says access denied with a very polite message. See you in hell. So that's your negative. So that you're going to see here, access denied, see you in hell. Okay, so let's look for what else is written in here. Okay, so this is the start. So it talks about the direct methods. Public class, Android. Okay, perfect. Key. So this should catch your eye right here. Vendor secret key 123. So it is. This application is literally hard coding the vendor key in the small file. And as you can see, access granted, see you on the other side. That's what you want. So let's go ahead and try that. So it was vendor secret key 123. And what happens when we hit access? Perfect. So there you go. Now that's one way to do it, and this uses your terminal window and cat. And while it does work for simple apps like this, it can get a little bit complicated when you start reversing more complex applications. So I am going to show you another way, and honestly I'm leaning towards using this second way, just because JADX is rated to be a lot easier to use with more complex applications than Apktool. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it seems that JADX is used more widely. So let's clear this out, pretend like we were never here, and let us try doing app. So if you don't have it, just go ahead and do an apt-get install JADX. And I already have it installed, so that's why you're not seeing it there. Let me back out. And let me just remove that folder so I don't do the same thing over again. Okay, so once you're here and you have JADX installed, what you're going to want to do is run the JADX command, and it's as simple as JADX. And I have found that you actually have to put in the absolute path, because for whatever reason it does not like relative paths. So home, Kali, documents, Android, Google Maps. And you're gonna target the APK and -D for decompile, and where you want the output folder to be. Home, Kali, documents, Android, Google Maps, and let's say Diva JADX. And you may get some warnings as this runs. As you can see, we're getting a bunch, but if you look now you have your Diva JADX. So let's take a look inside. And you have resources and sources. So let's go into, I think it is resources. Let's try there first. Nope, this isn't it. Let's try sources. Okay. Jafar. And if you're wondering how you know how to drill down to Jakar, Asim, Diva, when you run the process list, and if you search, if you grep for JADX, or excuse me, not for JADX, if you search for Diva, you're actually going to get this whole string. You're going to get jacquard.assim.diva as your process list. And that's how you know that that's what where to drill down into. Okay, so you have this. Great. Now let's open, instead of just catting it, let me so I'm gonna open my new favorite text editor for at least these instances. Okay, so I use a text editor called Atom. So I'm gonna do Atom, Diva, and for whatever reason they like the no sandbox. Perfect. And I'm gonna get rid of this. Nope. You can't have my data. So this is much more organized than your regular just reading stuff off the terminal. It's easier to search through, and it's kind of like Microsoft Visual Studio Code, if any of you have ever used that. If not, that's a great tool and a great alternative to using Atom. And you can keep things organized. It's more search friendly, I should say, and I just like it. So anyway, so I ran Atom on Diva, and it opened Diva as the folder, and it actually opened up all the Java files for me. So let us drill down to what we were looking for. So that was hardcode activity. Sure. And let's make this a little bigger. And look, it's all nice, it's colorful, it pops out. And you can see if edit text, find view, get text to string equals, so it literally has the vendor key hard-coded in there. If it equals vendor secret key 123, then it's access granted. And that is why we have that working. So that's all I want to cover with this one. In the next video, I'm going to cover the a little more challenging of a hard coding issue that they have in this Diva application, and then we're going to get into some more fun stuff. So I hope you got something decent out of this video. Again, please do me a huge favor, hit subscribe, comment below if you have any questions or anything. Other than that, thanks so much guys, I'll see you soon.